think this is a pattern with Trump's rhetoric, actually, especially in the area of foreign policy, where he says, this is my stance, and if I don't like what you're doing, I'm just going to roll over you. I mean, he said that vis-a-vis Iran. He said that vis-a-vis Venezuela. He said that vis-a-vis Greenland. I mean, I think this is just part of the Trump playbook.
Donald Trump's done a bit of a U-turn, something we more heavily associate with our own government. He's changed his stance on the Chagos Islands deal again. The deal for the UK to transfer sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius was once called an act of great stupidity by Trump, but today he said it was the best deal Starmer could make. That's either a compliment or a damning indictment of Keir Starmer, I don't know. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt gave this update.
He spoke with Prime Minister Starmer directly. He understands Prime Minister Starmer's position, and he supports it. But as the president reiterated in that statement, of course, the United States reserves the right to protect our assets. We still have a military base, of course, on the island of Diego Garcia. And so the president reiterated to the Prime Minister and to all of you that the United States will never waver, if necessary, in protecting our assets anywhere in the world, but including on Diego Garcia. And he supports the Prime Minister's decision.
There we go. So Starmer has spoken with Donald Trump. Do we know why Donald Trump has done an about-turn on this, Anita?
Well, would we call that a U-turn, or would we call that kind of a three-point turn? I mean, he very defiantly
yeah, because he liked it and then he didn't like it and now he likes it again.
Well, yes, but if he doesn't like it in the future, he might take it back. I mean, that's a key part of the messaging from Donald Trump today. What changed his mind? Well, I mean, this has been an ongoing legal issue, an international legal issue between the UK and Mauritius. And I think this might have been, when he says this might have been the best he could do, he meant that the UK had legal constraints driving this decision. This 99-year lease is going to continue the tradition of having a UK-US joint base on this very strategically located island. So on the surface, nothing changes until, I guess, Donald Trump says it does.
Yeah, we still have to have the law ratified. The deal has to be ratified, made its way through Parliament. It has been delayed. It's sort of currently on hold since the president's last outburst. Two main opposition parties, both heavily against it. Certain people are asking why on earth you would give the sovereignty of the island up with security concerns, much as Donald Trump has had. So it's not. It isn't even convincing everyone over here yet. I mean, could Donald Trump be using this as leverage potentially in the future, Anita?
Over our best
over the UK. So because he now likes it again, that's great. But when he wants to signal his distaste or hit out at something else, he might suggest that he doesn't like it anymore, and to try and make Keir Starmer, bend on something else.
No, I think this is a pattern with Trump's rhetoric, actually, especially in the area of foreign policy, where he says, this is my stance, and if I don't like what you're doing, I'm just going to roll over you. I mean, he said that vis-a-vis Iran. He said that vis-a-vis Venezuela. He said that vis-a-vis Greenland. I mean, I think this is just part of the Trump playbook. So will it result in getting leverage over the United Kingdom is the bigger question, really. But this is a line that I think he trots out pretty often.
Yeah, Warren Stevens, the US ambassador to the UK, said that while the ideal outcome would be for the UK not to transfer sovereignty of the Chagos Islands, it was the best deal on the table for successive UK governments. I mean, this is helping out our Prime Minister, by the way, Anita. That successive UK governments is important because, of course, this deal was at first, the negotiations on it first began under the Conservative government, now Labour government, and our Prime Minister domestically is under a lot of pressure over what he did or did not know about Peter Mandelson, the former UK ambassador to Washington's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He is in hot water. So this is a surprising win for Keir Starmer, which he desperately needs at the moment, by the way.
Until Donald Trump changes his mind.
Well, we'll deal with that when it happens, as we always do. President Trump's made reference to nationalising elections ahead of the midterms. So Caroline Leavitt was asked today if ICE agents will be present at this year's midterms.
That's not something I've ever heard the president consider, no.
You can guarantee to the American public that ICE will not be around polling locations or voting locations in November?
I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location in November. I mean, that's frankly a very silly hypothetical question. But what I can tell you is I haven't heard the president discuss any formal plans to put ICE outside of polling locations. It's a disingenuous question.
Okay.
Usually are in the United States are elementary schools, which is a place that we have seen ICE officers deployed. Outside elementary schools, community centers, libraries, places where they believe that they might find people to detain. So, I mean, I think it might be, in fact, likely if ICE is still on the street that they might be near these places, because polling places are supposed to be quite well distributed in a community. You're supposed to be able to walk or drive very quickly to your polling station. So I don't know how she can actually make that promise unless ICE is going to be totally off the streets by that time.
Yeah, because look, people will just not vote, will they, if they think that there is a chance of them being apprehended by an ICE agent?
Right. And that's what critics are saying, that this is going to really intimidate people. But I just want to talk about the concern that the Trump administration and previous administrations have made about this issue. They worry that there is some sort of conspiracy, large-scale conspiracy for non-residents and non-citizens to vote in this country, which is possibly the stupidest felony ever. I mean, why would you do that? If you come to this country and you are undocumented, why would you go to a formal location and give, I mean, what's the payoff there? How would you even coordinate such a conspiracy? So the documents bear this out. I mean, even the Heritage Foundation has not documented that many instances of non-citizens voting. I think they've counted, 72 in the last 12 years. So it's a problem that isn't really as big as they're making it seem.
Okay. Let's talk about Republicans who are saying that they're going to boycott the Super Bowl on Sunday because the singer Bad Bunny is heading the halftime show. More than half of Republicans said they were dissatisfied with the selection of the immensely popular Puerto Rican reggaeton star. I've said that correctly. According to a poll by YouGov and The Economist. Is Bad Bunny too woke for the Super Bowl then, according to these Republicans?
Well, let's talk about what he's actually said recently. He has spoken out against ICE operations, especially in blue cities like Minneapolis, which has been characterized as a woke position to take, because the refrain is, human beings are not illegal. And that's seen as some sort of woke mantra. But is he too woke? I mean, because he speaks Spanish, because his content is his music is dance music that makes people dance, which I guess makes some people uncomfortable and think of as being salacious. It's a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Interesting. So there we go. We'll have to see if Republicans do indeed boycott the Super Bowl. Who is playing in the Super Bowl? I must admit, I've been completely ignorant of it up to now. This is the first story I've done on it.
I love that you're asking me this because I had to find this out myself yesterday. It's the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. Don't ask me which one's going to win or how the game works. It's more complicated. It's more confusing to me than cricket, but it is those two teams. And, of course, the real interest in professional sports right now in the U.S. is this booming gambling market, which I know you're very familiar with in the UK.
Interesting. Because we've got a few more minutes, I'm just going to ask you off the cuff, because you're such a knowledgeable person on these things. At the moment, there's a lot of coverage over there, isn't there, about Tulsi Gabbard's presence at the FBI raid of the Georgia Election Centre, right? It was an FBI raid in Georgia. Can you offer us any insight on this, Anita? It's sort of gathering a fair amount of traction.
Right. I could talk to you about the argument that the administration is making for the necessity of her presence there and the necessity of this investigation, which is the continued claim that the 2020 election was not, in fact, won by Joe Biden, but by Donald Trump, which is just not true. There's been no compelling evidence to establish that, and every one of the 60 lawsuits that the Trump administration filed to challenge the results of this election failed. So, I mean, this is just kind of rehashing and repeating that in advance of the 2026 midterm election, which is now being, marketed as an election that, according to the fearmongers in the administration, is going to be dominated by undocumented people voting, by non-citizens voting, and it's going to be fraudulent and all of that. So it's kind of rehashing. It's a fear tactic, but yeah, I mean it's succeeding.
Yeah,
among some populations.
So this is the election centre in Georgia, and as you say, this is a lot about optics. This is a lot about them, saying, well, there's no smoke without fire. There needs to be a raid on this centre because we're still not convinced. And Tulsi Gabbard was there, the Director of National Intelligence. She says, at the urging of the Attorney General Pam Bondi. This is what the US president said, a national prayer breakfast, high-profile event of political and religious leaders. So they're trying to sort of justify why Tulsi Gabbard was there, why that much emphasis, I suppose, and someone in a very senior position, Director of National Intelligence, present. Thank you, Anita. Really good to speak to you. As ever, US reporter Anita Powell with us there.